There have been a number of studies in recent months saying that global warming will cause the sea level to rise in the next century, much higher than had been expected. Environment correspondent Ed Rodgers tonight begins a three-part series that explores the possible effects rising seas and storms might have on New Jersey. He begins with a look at how weather changes could be affecting wildlife.
It was a busy winter at the Marine Mammal Stranding Center in Brigantine. Last year, the center dealt with a record number of seals. 41 of the animals were harp seals. Officials say they've treated 20 of the same species this year.
Harp seals right now seem to be all over the beachfront. We're seeing a lot of them coming in.
The animals call the Arctic region and North Sea home. Studies are showing a dramatic drop in Arctic sea ice as well as glaciers. It's an area that is particularly vulnerable to global warming.
The sea ice cover has been reduced by about 25%, and the rate of sea ice loss per year or per decade, or however you want to measure it, is accelerating.
What this seems to be doing is allowing the animals that would be captive on the ice fields throughout the winter and localized in the Arctic region to move further south with the free flowing seas. They bring them further south looking for food. They don't have the ice to haul out on, so what they're looking at is something else to get out of the water and warm up, and that's our beaches.
What's happened to polar bears and seals that depend on Arctic ice is an extreme case of how global warming can affect habitat. Changes in weather may also be having subtle effects on wildlife here in New Jersey. The question is whether those changes are part of global climate change. In the fall of 2004, biologists recorded a 30% drop in monarch butterflies migrating through Cape May. Unseasonably wet and cold weather may have been one factor in the decrease. Last spring, colder, stormier weather delayed the spawning of horseshoe crabs on Delaware Bay beaches. The crabs did not come ashore to spawn during the annual migration of red knots and other migratory shorebirds. Officials with the National Weather Service say this past winter was the 11th warmest recorded in New Jersey in the 111 years the data has been kept. That appears to have made the state's black bear population more active in the winter months. State wildlife officials say from January to mid-March of last year, there were only 17 bears sighted, compared to 34 during the same period this year. In 2005, 2 of the animals were struck by cars, compared to 7 this winter. When discussing climate change and sea level rise, one major concern, though, is the wetlands and coastal areas around the state. Researchers believe those areas are especially vulnerable to rising sea levels that scientists say could increase more than 3 feet in the next century.
The trouble is, in New Jersey, most of the coast is built up behind the wetlands so that the wetlands don't have a lot of space to migrate into. So as the sea level rises, it's certain that the state is going to lose a lot of its wetlands just because the wetlands have no place to go.
State wildlife biologists say we may have already witnessed some of the damage caused by higher than normal tides along the Delaware Bay shore. Last May, these cedar trees along the Dennis Creek were destroyed by above normal high tides. Ed Rodgers, NJN News.